Thanks for joining me. We're on session 21 of How to Mix Live Music, and we're going to add some reverb into the mix. This is particularly useful on vocals and solo acoustic instruments to give them a bit of a lift above the core band mix. But its use depends a lot on the acoustics of the performance venue itself. If the room is already quite echoic or reverberant, adding more reverb to the mix will sound mushy. However, if the room is quite dry and dull sounding by itself, then adding reverb will help it to sound more pleasant. Like we discussed about compression last time, though, use it sparingly, keep it subtle, unless the style of music demands it as a special effect. If the performance venue is quite small, adding reverb to the voices and a few instruments can make it sound as if they are in a larger space. This could enhance the music and add comfort for the listeners. On both the TF mixers and the MGP mixers, there are two dedicated effects buses. Let's use effect 1 for reverb. Now, just send the lead vocal to the effects by turning up the aux send. Note this is always post-fader. The sound level going to the reverb effect is also adjusted by moving the vocal channel's fader itself. Next, switch on the effects return channel and turn up the level. On TF, this is an encoder to the right of the touchscreen. On MGP, it's a fader just by the group channels. Now choose the type of reverb to apply. And here's a clue. Don't select the same type of reverb as the venue type you are in. If the venue already sounds like a large hall, don't add a large hall reverb to that. Select the opposite. So if you're in a small room, try a hall reverb. If you're on a reverberant stage, try a room reverb. Or a plate reverb can be nice and subtle. This simulates the sound of a large vibrating metal plate, a classic way of creating artificial reverb in recording studios during the 1960s and 70s. Take a listen to the vocal input channel and the reverb return in combination. Or test it with your own voice and a microphone at the mixer. There are two main parameters to adjust for reverb: time and initial delay. Reverb time determines roughly how long the effect lasts. Somewhere between 1.5 and 2.5 seconds normally works well. Keep it short if the venue is quite echoic. Initial delay determines the length of time between the original sound and the start of the reverb. A longer delay will give a feeling of larger space. A shorter delay will sound more tidy. Especially, keep it short, around 10 or 20 milliseconds, if the venue is large and echoic. The reverb you apply can enhance the amplified sound before the natural reverb begins. Take a listen to these two examples of reverb, but first the dry sound. Note it's a live recording of the vocals with drums and so on in the background.
I'm gonna love you, baby, and you're gonna love me too. As long as we stick together, there's nothing we can't do.
Next, here's a clip using a hall reverb with a time of 2.5 seconds and an initial delay of around 110 milliseconds. This gives a feeling of quite large space, but might not suit fast and energetic music so much.
I'm gonna love you, baby, and you're gonna love me too. As long as we stick together, there's nothing we can't do.
The final clip is a reverb plate with a 1.5 second time and a 10 millisecond initial delay. This will lift the vocal, giving it extra character without clouding the rest of the band's mix.
I'm gonna love you, baby, and you're gonna love me too. As long as we stick together, there's nothing we can't do.
You can also try adding reverb to backing vocals and acoustic solo instruments such as brass and violins. Also toms and snare drum if they're closely mic'd. Be subtle rather than obvious to keep the performance sounding natural and believable. On the TF mixer, use Sends on Fader for Effects 1 or Effects 2 to adjust how much sound from each channel reaches the reverb processor. Next time, we're going to add a tap delay effect to vocals and guitars. It's going to be fun and the final addition to our live music mix. See you soon!